Hi everyone, it's Rax bringing you a video on the Season 19 Whirlwind XP meta. We were running these all day and we were smashing anywhere from GR 103. We tried it all the way up to 110 with a lot of success, and I think that these runs, once we get our barbs fully powered, will be able to rival rat runs to give us another way to gain our XP in Season 19. So here we are running with two Whirlwind barbs with identical gear. Me and Lexi will go over exactly how to build those in a second. The third barb is a support barb. He's keeping us alive, he's giving us movement speed, and he's using spears to bring all the mobs close to us. And then finally the support monk is going to cyclone all those monsters together so we can kill everything with Rend Bloodbath, and she is dropping Sanctuary so we stay alive, and is spamming shields on us to protect our squirts buff so we can deal additional damage. Now, one possible alternative to this comp is you could bring a Demon Hunter, an Impale Demon Hunter, who's very good at killing elites because Whirlwind Barbs are mostly good at killing trash, and that would synergize very well instead of two Whirlwinds. One thing to pay attention to here is we are very quickly approaching the 500 kill mark, and we have a lot of progress to go before the RG. At 500 kills, the Angels spawn, and the Angels will one-shot the Rift Guardian if we can line them up. So we purposely hunt as many elites as we can because it's not very many kills, but it's a lot of progress to kind of delay the Angels spawning for the Rift Guardian so they can do exactly this. Bam. So that was an extremely fast 103. Let's turn it up to 105 and try it one more time, and let's just see how it goes. So one thing that I want to stress about how powerful this is we aren't anywhere near as strong as we could be. For example, I don't even have the right weapon because I can't get it from the PTR vendor, and neither Lex or I have a single augment on any of our characters, so we're missing 26 augments between us. If we put all of those on, you would be able to clear these even faster, and at this low of Paragon, to be able to speed farm these GRs is going to be outrageous experience. All right, and we'll have to see what happens. People have been talking about maybe Barbarians will be nerfed. I personally don't think they will. I personally don't understand why they would need to be. They're not outrageously overpowered. I mean, Bazooka is still a million times better than these Whirlwind Barbs, for example. So I don't know why they'd need to be nerfed, especially for how long Whirlwind has been so bad. Instead, I'd rather see them buff other things. But then another question is, are they going to nerf the Angels? Because yesterday, in one of my friend's GR 150s, the Angels meleeed the Rift Guardian for 1.6 sextillion. That's 1.6 sextillion. And instantly killing a 150 Rift Guardian. So we'll have to see what changes they decide on. I have a feeling the Angels will be slightly nerfed. But as you can see, we're trying to line up the Angels spawn with the Rift Guardian again. And it's okay if you don't get the Angels, you can still kill them with the Barbarians. Even without the Bane of the Stricken for either Barbarian, it's going to be completely fine. But it always helps if you can get the Angels to line up. Anyway, let me jump over and show you exactly how to build this Barbarian to get these runs down so quickly. Alright everyone, let me show you how to build this character so you can blast in Season 19. I know a lot of you may have watched my Whirlwind speed build that was released yesterday, so I will try to go a little bit quicker through everything but still explain in case people didn't catch that video. We're going to take the full waist set, which is going to make our Rend do massive damage. Rend does all of our damage, not Whirlwind. Whirlwind is going to apply Rend with the new legendary power on Ambo's Pride, which hasn't been updated on D3 Planner yet. Whirlwind is going to apply Rend, and all of Rend's damage is going to be dealt in 1 second instead of 15 from the waist set, okay? The 2-piece is going to give Rend way more damage. The 4-piece is going to give us big damage reduction, and Rend is going to deal triple damage. And the 6-piece set, it currently says that Whirlwind damage is increased by 10,000%, but in the next season, Rend is also going to get that 10,000% increase, okay? So, let's get started with Sunkeeper. You may remember from the speed build, we used an Echoing Fury so we could move faster, but that's not our concern here because the support barb is going to give us the movement speed we need. We take Sunkeeper because it has increases damage against elites by 30%, and elites are kind of the weak point for our Whirlwind barb, so that's what we want, okay? And we need damage, percent damage, elite damage, and cooldown. And one thing that I want to clarify that I've made an adjustment on in my speed video is I said that Rend only calculates its damage based off of your main hand, and that is true. But remember, we are using Whirlwind to apply Rend from Ambo's Pride, and Whirlwind oscillates between the two weapons. So what that means is, in your offhand, you are going to want a very good damage range and the percent damage roll, because Whirlwind is oscillating how it applies Rend with that particular skill, okay? And we will stock it with crit hit damage. It's interesting because Rend cannot crit. However, stacking crit hit chance and crit hit damage has a multiplier which increases Rend's damage, even though it can't crit. Sounds a little weird, but that's how it works. So we will be taking crit wherever possible. The only stat that we don't need, that's pretty typical in other builds, is attack speed, because we will already be able to reach the 2 attacks per second to take advantage of Lamentation, and Rend is activating in 1 second because of Ambo's Pride. Okay, so on the offhand, we'll take the damage range and the percent damage, strength, and cooldown. We want cooldown everywhere to bring everything back up. If you got to super high paragons, you could roll off the strength for elite damage, but starting out the 1000 strength will be amazing. We'll take the full waist set whenever possible. We will take all resist for survivability. So here we want strength, vit, all resist, and armor. For the pants, strength, vit, and all resist, and we will be socketing our armor pieces with strength for additional damage. Here is another change from the speed build. We are going to be taking focus and restraint. When we hit with a resource generating attack, aka Furious Charge, we will do 50% more damage. And when we hit with a resource spending attack, aka Whirlwind, we will do another 50% increased damage. It's a major multiplier, so focus and restraint is what we want to do the most damage possible. Crit, and cooldown is what we'd like. Average damage is also pretty good if you can't get that. And Bane of the Trapped here for a massive damage increase. Same rolls on the restraint to complete our set. And this gem we want Teguk for not only a major damage increase, but a major survivability increase. Lamentation, Red now stacks twice. Big damage increase, we want strength, vit, all resist, and life. On the gloves, we don't want the quadfecta because we don't want attack speed. So strength, crit, CDR is what we're looking for. On the shoulders, we want strength, vit, CDR, and rend damage. And the other place you can get rend damage is on the chest. Strength, vit, rend also on the chest, again with strength gems to deal more damage. On the helmet, strength, vit, and crit with the diamond in the helmet for more cooldown. And Squirt's necklace is going to give us a 100% damage increase as long as we don't take damage. Between our Wrath the Berserker with Mortix Brace taking less damage, and our Band of Might, and our Z-Monk with the Sanctuary, and the shields, and the healing, and the Ignore Pain from the Z-Barb, and from the Call of the Ancients, you pretty much take no damage in this build, which is incredible. So this is a very hardcore friendly build. Physical crit would be the ideal rolls here, and remember, Rend is physical, and that's the damage that we want to increase. Even though Whirlwind is lightning, it's going to apply Rend's runes, so it's actually a physical attack. Okay, we'll take Bane of the Powerful here for additional damage. If you find that you're really struggling on Elites or on the Guardian, you could consider taking Bane of the Stricken instead, but it really shouldn't be needed. Vortex Brace is going to give us every Wrath the Berserker rune. That's incredible. Physical, Strength, Fit, and Crit would be ideal rolls here, and we're augmenting everything with Strength. Let's look at the skills. Call of the Ancients, we take this for the rune together as one. 50% of the damage is instead sent to your Ancients. That's going to give you a big damage reduction to protect your Squirts buff. Battle Rage into the fray, we're going to get 1% crit for every enemy within 10 yards. That crit hit chance is going to increase the multiplier of our rend and make us do way more damage. Furious Charge, Merciless Assault does 3 things. First, it procs our Focus and Restraint, and it procs our Band of Might, and it's just a great tool just for moving around the rift. Take the Merciless Assault rune, so that way if you charge into a lot of enemies, you can bring the cooldown back. Wrath the Berserker, pick whichever rune you want, doesn't matter, because we're going to get every rune from Vortex Brace. Rend Bloodbath. Bloodbath is by far the best rune. When you gather up everything into a little clump on the Sanctuary, the Bloodbath is going to trigger and it's going to blow everything up. Remember, Whirlwind, when applying Rend from Ambo's Pride, does apply the rune that you select for Rend, so we do need to put Rend on our bars, even though we never manually cast Rend. And Whirlwind, what we're doing all the time, we'll take the Wind Shear rune so we can get our Fury back. There's really no other better rune to take. Boon of Bolcathos is going to reduce our cooldown of Wrath the Berserker by 30 seconds along with Call of the Ancients. Berserker Rage, we're going to deal 25% additional damage as long as we're near max Fury. If you find that you're having a little bit of trouble with your Fury, you could switch this for Brawler, or if you're playing Hardcore, you could switch this for Nerves of Steel for a cheat death. Ruthless, you deal 40% additional damage to enemies below 30% health. It's going to help us finish everybody off. And finally, Rampage is going to give us a tremendous strength boost, which is going to give us a ton of damage. Messerschmitt's Reaver is going to bring back all of our cooldowns as we slay enemies. As you saw in the footage, you're going to be slaying absolutely everything. It's going to give you your cooldowns back all the time. Mantle of Channeling is going to give us a big damage increase and a damage decrease coming in. So it's going to help, again, protect our Squirts buff. And Band of Might is probably one of the best survivability things in the entire game, and our Furious Charge is going to proc that again to protect our Squirts buff. Okay, let's quickly look at the Paragon. First, max your movement speed, and then put the rest into strength. You shouldn't need anything to anything else here. For offense, max your CDR first, and then the 2 crits. We don't really need attack speed, so do that last. For defense, start with all resist, then life, then armor, and life per second last. And then in utility, start with resource and life per hit. And I would never put the Paragon points into area damage. Leave it at 0 all the time. The reason why is area damage does work with Rend if you manually cast it. But we don't manually cast Rend. We use Whirlwind to apply Rend. The Rend that is put on enemies that comes from Whirlwind does not proc area damage. So if you put points into area damage, the game is going to have to calculate the area damage based on the damage of your Whirlwind, and it's going to do absolutely no damage, and it's going to lag the game. For that reason, I put none into area damage for this build. All right? Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Tomorrow, I'm going to push the solo leaderboards for Barbarian on the PTR to see exactly what this build can do and try out all the different variations and see what the best solo setup is. I actually think it's going to be different. I don't think we're going to be using Focus and Restraint. And I honestly don't think we're going to be using Sunkeeper and Ambos. I think we're going to have to use Istvan sets, or you may know it as Little Rogue and Slanderer. But I'm going to be testing everything tomorrow, and then I will be putting that guide on YouTube along with many others for Season 19 very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe if this helped you, and I'll see you again. Thank you.